Okay, we are live, I think. Cindy is here. Wow, you're the first person. Thank you so much for joining. Just please let me know. Oh, and Laura's here, of course. And let me know, guys, if you can hear everything. I think so. Okay, so as we are waiting, I'm going to see if I have received in the emails with pictures. Not yet. Okay. It's good. Okay, fantastic. All right. So I guess today we are talking again about our frustrations regarding to nails. So let us know if you have any frustrations, and I'll try to help you. I had a person emailing me from our online store about her daughter's ingrown nails. So I just maybe want to talk about a little bit of how important it is to cut the nails correctly. And I know that many times cutting the nails straight is recommended, but it is recommended because normally when people try to get into the corners, they can't really see because they are doing it from a very uncomfortable angle and they can't see the corners. So they usually leave a little bit, like a little piece of nail, a little sliver that can be extremely painful, or they leave a corner. So I find I just follow the natural shape of the nail bed and I make sure that I grab the tool that comes in our kit and I run the tool underneath the corner to feel how the corner is. If it's catching on something, then I file it or I just snip it sometimes a little bit to make sure that the area is nice and smooth, that is not causing pain, because that little bit of a toenail can cause so much pain, and when it pierces the skin, it can cause infection as well. So this is what happened to that girl. So she basically probably had the nail not cut properly, and she ended up with inflammation there. So at that point, when there is inflammation and redness and swelling, then this is something that I would always recommend to a podiatrist, because this is considered then ingrown toenail, not just painful toenail or just uncomfortable toenail. This is something that then the podiatrist has to deal with. And it's difficult to get to that area because that area is swollen usually and very painful. So it's much better to, and I told her that I would definitely recommend her to shorten the nails every 2 weeks with a file, and to make sure that the corners are nicely filed into a smooth surface. So even though that they could be square sometimes, make sure that that corner is not extremely sharp. So that is very important. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I think I got some emails. Okay. There was no emails, I don't think. Okay, so my biggest frustration is that my nails keep breaking so far below the free edge. Super painful, hard to protect. My nail beds are very short and the free edge starts well below the tip of my finger. Okay, probably, unfortunately, this usually happens when the nails are kept a little bit too long for what you're doing and they're just bending in the wrong area, and then they break like that. Also, it could be an issue with too much flexibility and the nails just being very flimsy, or not enough flexibility, so the nails are brittle and then they just crack in that area. So I find shortening the nails a little bit and just seeing if the nails need more flexibility or if they're just damaged. So try taking a photo of your nails and share it with me. I'm going to give my email address here. And if you can send the picture, and obviously if you're okay sharing the photo, then we can discuss it in a little bit more detail, because that is very frustrating. But yes, usually keeping them a little bit shorter is the solution. And I also find when people have their nails too square, that can happen, because sometimes when the corners are a little bit softer, the pressure when you hit the nail, it's not the same. I find when sometimes my clients would keep their nails very, very square, that would happen more often. Okay, let me see if I can find a photo of recent breaks and send. Also, what is very important when you're taking a picture, and can't even believe I never really thought about it, but when you're taking a photo, just ask someone to shine directly on your nails with another cell phone, because that is going to, give you a proper lighting. See the beam? It's like a laser. Wow. But yeah, so someone shining light on the nails, and you take a picture from where my eyes are. See? This is how you have to take photos, because if they're taking like this, I can't see the details, unfortunately. But yes. That would be very helpful. Okay, so let me just see if I can get any pictures. Okay, so this is something that okay, never mind. Going back to you guys. Okay, if you have any questions, guys, let me know. Other than that, let me know what's going on, what's happening, what's new. Not much. Yeah, hello. Yeah, not much happening over here when it comes to any news or anything. I guess no news is good news. I just sent a couple. Wonderful. Photos for YouTube Live. Love it. Oh, yes. Ouch. That is painful. Okay, so you don't really have very short nail beds. I'm going to share the photos with you. Okay. Okay, sorry. I need to open the photo somehow. Yeah, so your nails are not damaged, obviously. Hold on. Okay, can you see? Perfect. So yeah, this would be your stress area. And this is how the nails are breaking. So what I would recommend, just keeping them a little bit shorter and doing the jojoba soaks. That could be helpful. And also, if you want to try, there is this carousel product that is called multi-purpose nail repair. It has urea. It just keeps the nails, I think, a little bit more flexible. It's like a very, let's just say, good moisturizer for the nails. So maybe putting that onto the whole surface of the nails once a day, or I would say once a day probably is a good idea. And then just putting some cream on, and once a week do jojoba soaks. So you would warm up the jojoba in First, you take a bigger bowl, something that's not very deep, of water. So you put maybe this much water, hot, pretty much almost boiling water. And then take a small, even a jar, and just fill it up maybe this much with jojoba, and then just put the smaller jar into the bigger jar, obviously so the water doesn't go into the oil, and then just hold your hands until the water cools off. So I would say like 5 to 7 minutes, and then you can switch. So you can pull the oil out, exchange the water for a hot one, and then just hold the other hand in the oil. And then after you're done, just rub it into the skin or your arms or your legs or something like that. And do that at night, just so you don't have to wash your hands off. And that over time just adds flexibility to the nail. And it might help the nails to bend instead of breaking. But let me just see if I can show you the other photos. Yeah. Also, another thing, right now in the winter, the temperature changes can be difficult on the nails. So they can, or even the dry weather as well, right? So adding humidifiers if you live in a dry area, or wearing gloves, that would be very helpful as well, and just moisturizing. That would be it. And also applying even the jojoba oil after hand washing as well, just 1 drop, and 1 drop is enough for 10 nails. They do bend a lot very easily. Okay. So, but like when they're dry, or is it when they are filled with water? Okay, so I'm recently postpartum and my nails were so nice during pregnancy. It's the hormones, but breaking a lot despite oiling them and taking vitamins. Again, it's probably shifting, the hormones are shifting. The taking vitamins is going to not be as effective as many people think, or many of the companies that sell the vitamins might think, especially if the nails are not really damaged or anything like that, or they're not peeling, or there's nothing really wrong with them. That if they're too flexible, maybe adding the Scientific Plus, it's a hardener if they're too flexible, dry. Okay, exactly. Yeah, so maybe add the Mavala Scientific Plus. It's a hardener and it has to be applied on the nails every 2 days, and you will see a difference probably in a month or two. So be patient with it, and also shorten the nails a little bit, and that should help to prevent the nails from breaking in such a painful area. Okay, let me see if I have other photos. No. Okay, so someone was having some questions. Okay. My update, I have been using cream often, and from how my nails were last week, they started to break. Okay, so can you send us a picture of your nails to remind me, and maybe send us a picture of the nails, how they are now? In a week, it's not going to be big difference. We're not going to see a big difference, but the new growth is coming slowly. Well, yes. So the nails, unfortunately, are growing slowly. So you're not going to see big difference in a week or two, or even 3-4 weeks. It takes 4 to 6 months for the new nail to grow out. And the key is to maintain that new nail and condition it so it doesn't get damaged as much as previously. So I don't know what was happening to your nails before. If you can send us a photo, that would be fantastic. Okay, so Jacqueline is saying my nails also break sometimes due to my work, but how do I know if my nails are too hard or too soft? In either case, weekly oil soaks are recommended. You can definitely do the weekly or bi-weekly oil soaks, but people that have hard nails and brittle nails, they are going to see much more benefit. People with flexible nails are just not going to see as much benefit, but their probably skin around the nails is going to benefit as well. So it's not like they're going to get too flexible or anything like that. Nails should have some flexibility. So when you bend the nail, it should bend a little bit, but it should not be. My tips always look very dry, even though I use oil several times including before and after hand washing creams. What more can I do? Okay, so you don't have to apply the oil just like all the time. You just apply it after you wash your hands. Other than that, oils stay on the nails and the skin. So unless you wash them off, you don't need additional application. So this is why I really do recommend having an oil in the bathroom or near a sink. And that way you just apply it and then you don't have to think about it. You don't have to just go up and apply it unless you, like I said, you washed it off. Tips always looking dry. Let me guess, probably you mean the surface of the nail, right? The surface of the nail can look dry, but it's usually damaged. So now understanding where the damage is coming from, it's usually not from lacking water. It's probably usually from a nail polish or from buffing or just doing something. So if you could send us a photo of how your nails are looking and what do you mean, or show us where that dryness is, it's going to be very helpful. And also what kind of oil you're using is important too, because many times people think castor oil or sorry, olive oil are good choices, but they are actually not very good choices. All right, so we have some photo. Okay, let me just share the photo. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so she says, my nails seem to grow into the skin surrounding the free edge of my nail. The skin is quite thickened. I habit cutting the skin as it's thick. I recently stopped from your video advice. Exactly. So the skin is just trying to protect itself. And let me see if I can zoom in. So it's probably a callus, and sometimes when the nails are too short, the pad goes up, it rises, right? And this is why if you might think that it's growing into your nail, but it's just it goes up because there is no nail anymore. So keeping the nails a little bit longer and not cutting that skin, because the more you cut it, the more it's going to get harder. So let me see if I can move this. No. So the nails are kept a little bit too short, and this damages also that hyponychium here. So what I would suggest is, not cutting any skin underneath because you're damaging the nail bed and damaging the hyponychium. Using something softening or something that has some sort of exfoliant to help the skin to shed in a better, more healthy way. But this takes time. So don't think that you're going to use it 2 or 3 times and magically the skin is going to change. This problem does not happen over time either. It happens because of continuous probably cutting. And so it's going to just take a little bit of time for this to improve. But yes, I would definitely let the nails grow a little bit, and they will probably attach here a little bit further. And let me just look at the other nails again. Yeah, so my question would be, why do you keep them so short? Like, is there a reason? There should be always tiny amount of white. Okay, let me see. So I see that there's, the nail is just too short. By applying the creams that have very light exfoliants like urea, even alpha hydroxy acids, anything that you would use even on your face, you can use it on your nails. That will make the skin around the nails softer, and then you can nudge it back gently, and it's just going to look much more neat around the nails. So this is what I would suggest, and it's also going to soften the skin over here as well. Okay, so I think we got some photos. Oh, okay, no. This was the photos before. Okay. So, I have a nail that always splits no matter what I do. Any advice? How can I send you the pictures of my nails? Okay, so we have pictures from someone. Why do my nails always look like they have surface damage? I don't wear nail polish. I keep the nails short, lotion, oil after hand washing, etc. My question, let's see, would be how often you wash your hands and what do you use to wash your hands? Let me just pull up the picture. Because water can do, and especially detergents, they don't really look like they have a lot of surface damage. I would say yes. So let us know. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to read the information. And let's see the other ones, the other photo. So in this case, honestly, I think the Mavala Scientifique would be a good idea. I think it's a perfect idea. There was just a little bit of, I guess it's a peeling or some surface damage on the end. Other than that, I would say it's pretty normal. It's like, when you have longer hair, there's going to be damage just from water exposure. And yeah, so let us know how often you wash your hands and what do you wash your hands with, because the washing can remove a lot of the lipids. And it's very difficult to replace the lipids that our body naturally makes. Jojoba is pretty close, but it's never perfect. So when you wash your hands with detergents, you're washing all these precious oils that keep the nail cells and the skin cells together. Okay, I don't know why the sound is off. Do you all guys have the same issue? Okay, so someone is asking how to send the photos, the salon life at gmail.com with subject YouTube live. Okay, so let me just pull up a couple things. So the washing hands, I find with very gentle cleanser is the first thing that I really recommend, because I've seen a big difference when people started, just they switched from a different cleanser, because some of those cleansers, they are just absolutely terrible, or soaps. And then what I would recommend is, okay, let me just first do this. These links are affiliate, which means that I might get a commission, but very small commission from Amazon. But I would appreciate it if you could, if you choose to buy it, obviously. So this is one link. Another one would be if you're washing your hands a lot first, like I said, the cleanser, and then, one second, I'm just, there was this product here, glove in a bottle. Actually, you know what? Gloves in a bottle. I had it, and then I used it up, and I just bought a big one for my work, and then a small one, like a purse one. And I wanted to really see how it works over a long period of time. I really like it because it's very light. It absorbs very quickly. So when you apply it small amount, because actually it's oil free. So what it does have, this product, it has dimethicone, which is silicone, which it helps to create like a breathable layer on your skin to protect the skin, and it has glycerin. Pretty much these are the two main ingredients in the amounts that are very effective to protect the skin. What else is in there? It's pretty much, these are the most important ingredients. Oh my God, look how small the letters are. Maybe I can see it like this. Can you guys see? No. Yeah, pretty much that's it. But the nice thing is that it's very light, so you can apply it after your hand washing right away, and it soaks in right away. So this makes it really helps. So people can apply it after each hand wash, and they say it lasts through hand washes. I mean, to a degree, because if you're using their harsh detergents, they're going to cut through this product as well. So this is what I would recommend. So this one is not necessarily a moisturizer, although it has glycerin. It's more of a protectant. So find what works for you. But the thing is, many times I hear that people just use cream once a day, and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. It has to be used after each time you wash your hands. It's like when you wash your face, you apply cream. And when you wash your hair, you apply conditioner. When you wash your hands, you have to apply some kind of moisturizer or some kind of a protectant, something. And it has to be done on a regular basis, like after each hand washing and for a long period of time. So skin, it has ability to repair itself, but it takes time for the skin to repair itself. So it can take up to a month or two to really see a difference. And often people, after a week or two using cream once a day, they're like, oh, it doesn't work. They just haven't given their skin a chance to repair, because the skin doesn't repair this quickly. Okay, so we have another photo. So yes, for these nails that looked dry, they just definitely would benefit from the Navala, I think. If you could take a photo always the way I suggest, like when you take a picture like this with the light shining on the nails, that would be very helpful. And let me just take a screenshot, and so I can put it together. I think your nails look much better, actually. So sorry guys, I'm just trying to now take those two photos and kind of put them side by side so you can see how I look at photos and why I need very specific ways of taking photos, because I want to put them side by side like this. To look at them. Hold on. Now I'm going to share the screen, and I need usually white background and a bright light shining on the nails. This really helps. Okay, let me just share the screen. Where are we? Share the screen. Okay, hold on. Who knew this would be so much work? Okay, hold on. Please have patience. Okay, here we go. Okay, so these are my nails from last week in comparison to now. Okay. And what was your question? Sorry, guys, like it's just so many things happening. So the question, okay, so I have been using cream often, and from how my nails were last week, they start to break. Absolutely, yes, because they're damaged. I do notice new growth is coming in slowly. Should I keep continuing this routine? Absolutely. So I have a video that explains very often that this happens. So people are following the right things, but they're not seeing results in a week or two or something like that. They're like, there must be something wrong with this routine. No, absolutely, the routine is fine. It just takes time to see the results. It's like going to a gym once or twice or for a week and going like, I'm not any stronger, or I don't look any different. Well, yeah, because it takes months, right, to see a difference. And it's the same thing with the nails. So the surface looks more uniform, which is good. The nails are shorter, which is good. I would probably shorten this nail a little bit, but I can't really see properly because the light is bouncing off really weird. So again, taking pictures like this, but like not holding your hand very tight. And the reason why not holding your hand very tight is when the hand is loose, there is no pressure on the nail bed, because when sometimes people are holding like this and they're pressing down, the nails are turning white because of the pressure, and then that just makes things difficult to see. So just holding your hand nicely like this, making sure that the light is bouncing off all the nails, and then just taking a photo. And just doing that, when I ask for follow-up pictures, because that allows me to put the pictures side by side. But going back to these nails, it's so this whole surface is damaged. You cannot repair that surface. You can help to protect that surface, but that surface is lacking the top layer of the nail. So the bottom layers never become top layers. So like with the skin, and that is very confusing for many people. They think that the nails, they kind of like repair itself and they grow up like the skin does, but they don't. They grow out this way. So you will see, let me just move in so I can see. I'm going to actually look from my phone just so I don't mess up this. Um, Another thing that I'm noticing here is, let me just see again on the computer. Trying to really zoom in and see what's going on. Okay, so if you can remind us what happened to your nails, why are they so damaged? Okay, so Erica, the hardener, I left a link to the hardener in right here. The Mavala Scientific Keratin Plus. That's what it's the name. Okay, so Stephanie, if you can let us know what happened to your nails, why were they so damaged? Probably you had some product put on them and then you removed it, or overbuffed them or something. So what I see is the skin around the nails is a little bit lifted. It just doesn't look, and looks a little bit inflamed. So I'm just curious if you cut that skin around the nails, because that could cause inflammation in that area, and that's just not very good for the nail as well. From removing overfiling last time. The nails were mostly damaged from removing them. No, well, but you probably are removing something from the nails. You're not removing the nails, obviously, right? So what are you removing from the nails? What are you removing from the nails? Was it a gel, acrylic, or something? Did you soak it off? Did you file it off? And so you probably removed some product, right? And you overfiled. Okay, because I still see, which is a little concerning. Okay, it's been a week, so it's not, not that much, but I don't see like a layer of healthy healthy growth here, which again, it's just a week, so it's not really, it might not just not be visible yet. But I would be very gentle with the skin around the nails and not pushing it and not cutting the skin around nails, because that can contribute to the damage to the nails. With the gloves in the bottle, do you keep applying lotion and oil over it every time you wash your hands? Well, no, it's just whenever you can. Just have it. If you're in a hurry, then just use it. And if you have time, then absolutely the oil would be a good idea to apply. But if you don't, if you're like, okay, you're running out the door and you just don't have the time, then use the glove in a bottle. But you can use any other lotion. I just find that one is, but again, there is no such a thing. And I'm playing with different formulas of different recipes of creams, lotions, and everything else. And it's kind of bad because I'm trying to put everything that I really love, the ingredients, into one lotion. It's just impossible because it makes it first very difficult to formulate with. Like, things get way too sticky and heavy and things like that. And then sometimes when you put too much of certain ingredients, things just don't mix properly and the texture is off and it separates and things like that. So I realized that sometimes it's like with food, you cannot include every possible beneficial ingredient into one dish, right? You have to have different dishes in order to cover good diet. And it's the same thing with skincare. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it's not as easy to cover everything in one cream. So what I would suggest is just having sometimes a couple things, or use one thing, use it up, use something else, and see what works for you. But again, it it takes time. It takes a few weeks for I mean, if unless you feel like you apply it and your skin is tight and it's itchy, then no, don't use it. And unfortunately, a lot of the companies, they just talk about things that these products don't have, and they don't really talk about. So I can sell you air and say, oh, it doesn't have parabens, it doesn't have I don't know, some 50 million toluene, it doesn't have acetone, it doesn't have waxes, it doesn't have oil, it doesn't, okay, what does it have? So sometimes those products are kind of, I hate to say it, like not even that good, and they just all talk about things that they don't have. So it's important to find out what they have and not what they don't have. And I just don't like those fear marketing, things like that. So let me see if I have more questions. Okay, so hold on a second. So Stephanie says, I use full cover nail tips and yes, mostly over file. Thanks for the information and tips how I will follow more with them. Okay, sounds good. And this was actually one of the questions that I received on the video, how to care for damaged nails or something. So the video's title is, you removed acrylic gel, blah, blah, whatever, and you uncovered damage or disaster or something, and what's next? So someone asked, well, can I just apply tips to protect the nails because they're very painful? Well, no, because unfortunately the tips can cause as much damage as you just had with, or what was caused by another product. And it kind of gets worse because now that your nails are damaged and they're much thinner, nothing will bond properly. And even if it bonds, then you need to use very aggressive bonders because, again, products bond very well to a healthy surface of the nail. But if there was no healthy surface and there's barely any nail left, then you need very aggressive chemicals. Those aggressive chemicals, they can penetrate through that very thin layer of nail, and they can cause a lot of damage to the nail bed underneath. And I'm talking a lot of damage where people are losing their nails altogether. And it looks frightening, actually. And it's very sad that this happens very often. And a lot of salons, even, they're just like, oh, I don't know, it's just the nails lifted, so we have to cut them out. Like this happened to one of my clients that asked me for advice privately, and I was just shocked because yes, it can happen, but then you have to, I don't know, like this is, I don't know how the nail technician could just say, well, yeah, you have separation, so you have to cut it out. And literally like 3/4 of her nails, she had to cut out because they were all lifted and separated. So I don't know, like I can't just wrap my head around it. These things can happen, and especially when the nails are damaged and you're applying more and more product over damaged nails. So this is why I don't recommend it. Okay. Do I have a specific nail care advice for people who play piano? Not really. What are your needs when you play piano? That would be my questions, because I don't really, I guess keeping your nails short, no? Okay, so if I just got a picture of dry nails, but she sent me a picture in a very low resolution. So if you can send me the same picture but in a high resolution, hold on a second, maybe I have it here. Oh yes, but it's out of focus. So basically the camera I'm going to show you. Okay, here. So you see, I'm like, oh, good picture, because I can see the fingerprints basically. But when you go like this is not very visible, and you see it's fuzzy. So it's difficult for me to see. And the camera, either was moved or just focused on the wrong area, like here. So your nails, when you're taking a picture, you see, sorry, my pointer is all over the place. The camera is here, the lens, and the lens is somewhere in the middle, right? So it's focused here. So your nails need to be higher, or the camera a little bit lower. And you have to make sure that you wait until you see that the nails are not fuzzy, and then you take a photo. So these nails are from my last, okay, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hope the pictures are okay. If not, let me know. I feel like my tips are dry. I scrub after wash and before bed. No buffing. Rarely use nail polish, even though I really want to, because it chips after a day. I would consider my nails pretty hard. Okay, there are two pictures. So let's see. Maybe the other one. I can see a little bit more. No. I think it was this one. No. Okay, so again, I can't see what's happening here. If the nails are splitting, then probably the Mavala is going to help as well. When the nails are chipping, it's usually not, well, sometimes yes, it is due to damaged nails, which it's difficult for me to see. And also when you're taking photo, make sure that you don't have any oil on your nails, because that blurs everything and I can't really see. So just wash your hands, let them dry for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something, or even use like pure alcohol on the nails. That way I can see everything is dried out. I can see the surface of the nails. So usually the way when I see how people polish their nails, I understand why the polish is peeling, because very often the nails are not cleansed properly before the nail polish application. People usually use either nothing, or they use like a nail polish remover, which has oils and perfumes and I don't know, some other things, which are not good for proper bond of the nail polish to the nail plate. And also they often over apply the polish. So the polish has to be used in very thin layers. So just usually few swipes, like I would say 3, 4 swipes, and you should be done. And very often people just like put on the nail polish and they apply the polish usually too thick. So especially the first and the second coat should be quite thin, and then you should apply the third coat a little bit thicker, let it dry, and the top coat. So it's the technique of the application really helps. Okay, so this was, so I don't know who's what, because obviously sometimes the names are different here and in the email. So Love Coast costs Love Coast Spain. Low. I actually thought it was Spain, but I think it's not Spain. Anyway, so I've also used alcohol before nail polish, no oils. Okay. I did wash my hands and also did alcohol, but I'll try better next time. No, it's okay. No, and if I know that there was no alcohol, then okay, your surface of the nail is shiny, and that could be the reason why sometimes the polish is not lasting. Some people naturally have very shiny nails. Actually, this was a case of one of my clients just recently. She came in just before the New Year's and she wanted to have nice manicure, and I'm shaping her nails, and I'm kind of thinking to myself like, wow, her nails are very shiny, and I could see her nails are naturally very shiny. So it's not like they were buffed or anything like that. So I told her, I'm like, I foresee a bit of a problem because your nails are naturally beautifully shiny. What I would do in order to increase the nail polish adhesion was I would take a buffer and just slightly remove the shine from the nails, and then the polish would last so much better. But that also can make the nails look dull after the polish is removed and increase damage or surface damage to the nails. So, and if she enjoys that shine, then obviously when she removes the polish, they're just going to look very dull. And again, we have only so many layers, those top layers of the nail. So removing them sometimes it might not be, very good for the client. So I'm like, okay, so what is more important to you? Is the shine of the nails and healthy nail as much as possible important, or is the polish lasting very well more important to you, right? Because again, this is something that for everyone the answer might be different. Because I said, I'm afraid that it's not going to last very long because your nails are so shiny. And she said, you know what? No, that's fine. I just need it for a couple of days and then I will remove it. And then I usually don't wear nail polish. So I prefer my nails like this. So I'm like, okay, actually I have to text her and ask her how her nail polish lasted because I'm now curious myself. But this is why sometimes the nail polish is not lasting because the nails are naturally shiny. Okay, so let's see if we have any more pictures. Okay, yes, we have more pictures. Let me see. Okay. Let me just show you the photos, guys. Sorry, takes me a while. Okay, so I'm going to again mention that to show me the photos like this. Like in the description box of this video, there was a quick step-by-step how to take the photos properly, because that way, trust me, the nails, because right now I can see this part very well, but I don't really see what's going on here. And white background is much better because it allows me to see better, and also it allows me to color correct the pictures as well. But let me see. Okay, so I'm a nail biter, but I'm trying not to. Also, I'm not doing skin. Okay, so my nails are a bit fragile and they have become more sensitive after removing nail extensions. Okay, so the nails obviously are going to, oh my God, Lori, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your donation. I really, really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. So the nails cannot be sensitive. I mean, I say that sometimes, but I just really want people to understand that the nail plate itself is dead. So your fingers are sensitive, right? But not really nails, because the nails are dead and there was no nerve endings in the nails, but there was many nerve endings in the nail bed. So when the nails are this thin or when they're damaged, you are feeling the nerve endings in the nail bed. So you're waiting for the healthy nail to cover my nail bed. Okay, I'm confused about the shaping of my nails. Okay, so whenever there is damage to the nails, or if you are regrowing a damage, because let me show you here, I can see on this nail, keep the nails as short as possible, only with maybe 1 millimeter length. All the nails shaped once a week. I actually have a download. It's on, it's about how to, there's 2 routines, how to maintain healthy nails and how to get healthy nails. So if your nails are damaged, you're going to follow a different routine than when your nails are just to maintain the good health of the nails. So it's in the online store. I'll show you in a second how to get there. So in your case, what I would do is to shape the nails once a week and keep them consistent length. So the thickness of a credit card probably would be the best description. And really care for the skin around the nails, because I can see there's redness, there's just some torn skin. So that even Vaseline right now would be a very good idea. And just instead of biting and picking, just keep rubbing the Vaseline into the nails and to the skin around the nails. Because Vaseline is actually very gentle on the skin, and it's going to leave like a protective layer. So by doing that, you are also helping the skin to function a little bit better with that little bit of a massage, improves circulation, and it helps the skin to heal properly when you're doing this regularly over a long period of time. So you'll see that skin healing, but that's going to take probably a few weeks, because it takes at least a month probably for the skin to go through its full cycle. But it depends. It's not like, okay, 28 days and you have new skin. It depends on the age, it depends on so many different things. So it just takes time, and be patient. Let me just see the other photo. Yeah, so I would, before you worry about anything else, and I think I was no, actually, I'm making a video that's still not finished. And I talked about it during our live last time, is that the first thing that I see when I see people's nails and what looks good, it's not like, oh, wow, she has 2 long nails. That's amazing. No, it's when all the nails have the same length and the same shape, is where the hand just looks like it's supposed to be like that. So if one of the nails breaks, it's better to just shorten all of them, so it looks like it's supposed to be. So having just, like I said, a couple longer nails, it just looks, it doesn't look very balanced. So I would keep the shape. I would just follow the shape of the nail bed like this. And I would bevel the free edge with a sponge file, some kind of a buffer, just to make sure that it's nice and soft, so it doesn't catch on things. Because especially when people are into picking, and I'm there myself, if there was anything that I can pick, I probably will. So keeping the nails nice and smooth, it makes a big difference. And also, what I would also do is take a pair of good nippers, and then just clip the little pieces of skin without putting pressure, putting pressure onto the skin. Just, if something is sticking up like this, just cut it. Don't go deep trying to get to it, because you're gonna damage the surrounding skin. And as well, these things, and just keep massaging it. Either oils like jojoba oil would be a good idea, grapeseed oil, just 1 drop, and then maybe Vaseline, and then just keep doing that until the skin softens. Other products that would be very helpful would be like the carousel that I recommend often, because it has urea. Urea is a fantastic ingredient, and it doesn't have to be in high amounts. I actually received a comment from one of our viewers on the YouTube channel, and they're asking that they see so many of like 40-50% urea creams, if this is something that's beneficial. No, 10%, 5 to 10% is enough to repair skin barrier, to add moisture to the skin. Urea is fantastic. Again, from 5 to 10%. And the carousel has 10%. It has glycerin, which is a very good. Glycerin is another one of those ingredients that is so overlooked sometimes, because it just does not sound exotic and fancy and expensive. But glycerin is fantastic. And really what you can do, if you really want to come up with something extremely cheap, would be to even mix glycerin with water. Okay, so you can mix and have like a pre-made body spray or something, but make sure that you use it up extremely quickly. So just have like a tiny little bottle, and just put 1 teaspoon of, let's say, glycerin, and then 10 teaspoons of boiled water, and then just mix it, because glycerin mixes very well with water, and then just spray it, and then just put a little bit of Vaseline. This is like probably one of the best and the cheapest moisturizers that can actually provide make a big difference. Again, this doesn't have urea. Urea would be that's more difficult to get, but it also mixes very well with water. But again, if you make it too strong, it's going to be very sticky, very heavy, and you're not gonna like using it. But if it's something like 10% glycerin, maybe even less, like 5% would be something that you can just spray on, and then cover it with something occlusive like Vaseline. That way, the moisture is drawn to the skin, and the occlusive keeps it in the skin. This is very important, because sometimes when it's very dry, you bring the moisture to the skin, but then it just evaporates because there's nothing holding it. So if you don't have any oils in the skin, nothing is holding the moisture there, and it just dries out, and you don't get really any benefits. Okay. I have ridges galore, but they're not solid. They're intermittent. Okay, so the ridge is probably going horizontal, right? So these are from usually pressure to the when you're doing your manicures. Okay, I'm going to see if I have any more videos, pictures. And if not, it is 8 o'clock here, PM. So then we can continue this conversation next week. Okay, yeah, I don't have any more pictures. Okay, I guess, I don't know. What's happening? I have no comments. Can you guys comment something? All I see is Lori's donation, and that's it. What's going on? Already, I don't know what's going on. Something got stuck. Okay, so if you have time between today and next week, and you have some bright light, okay, it's subscriber on the mode. That's correct. And you know why it's that? Because it's for me not to force people to subscribing. It's just to avoid people spamming, because people think it's a fantastic idea to just go spamming. Okay, good. Spamming and just saying some nonsense, right? So, and I don't have time when I'm explaining something. I don't have time to be managing the what's going on in the chat. So this is why I have subscribers only mode. Okay, good. I'm proud of myself today. I use gloves for furniture moving projects. Fantastic. These little changes over a long period of time can make a big difference, because sometimes people overcorrect and they do too much all at once, and they're like, forget it, like it's just too difficult. So make small change and just keep doing it, and you'll see over time it's going to make a big difference. Just like nudging the skin back. And I don't even know when, because I used to do my manicures when I did the gel. I used to do my manicures once every 2 to 3 weeks, but I didn't really I would just, yes, apply oil, the creams, blah, blah, but not really nudge the skin back. And then when I started doing my manicures weekly, I found that skin even got even better. Like, it really makes a big difference. So, because sometimes even if you do it once a week, you have a 1 millimeter or so, like at least like a credit card thickness. Let me see how really thick credit card is. Yeah, pretty much. Which is, I mean, very small, but still, if you have that skin kind of sticking up, it can bother sometimes people. So if you keep nudging it, if you keep carrying it, it's just going to be much more elastic, and it's just going to sit beautifully around your nails. So yes, these little changes and these very cheap additions to your daily routine are eventually going to make a huge difference in how your skin and your nails are looking. The winter weather is causing my nails to dry out and peel. I'm trying to protect them now. Yeah, it's the weather really makes a big difference. So again, wearing gloves really helps. Using a humidifier if you can. Obviously, if you're in the office, it's super dry. There's not much you can do. But again, using creams after your hand washing is that much more important, because here in the summer it's super humid, and my skin is I don't really need any moisturizers. So, but in the winter, sometimes I find that it's necessary. There were times where it was very dry and I could feel the difference. So when the air is extremely dry, like if you guys are living where there is like a very, cold winter and you have to heat your place a lot, that dries the air out and it makes it very difficult for the skin. So yes, then make sure you use something that's a little bit more emollient. People really love very light lotions, which are fine. But if the weather is that dry, then use something that's a little bit substantial sometimes, that has more emollients, has more oils. Put some Vaseline at night, small amount around the nails that it's going to at night, so it can sit. You don't have to wear gloves. Don't put so much that you have to use gloves. But no. Are fine grain hand scrubs good to use for dry skin if you're lotion afterwards? No. I think, again, it's one of those things that people really love instant results. And I have to make a video or something or somehow so I can lead people to that information, because it is extremely important to understand the difference between dry skin and excess of skin. And this is especially important when it comes to feet and pedicures, because people go crazy. They're like, oh, dry skin, let's file it. Dry skin, it's skin that usually does not have proper skin barrier, and the moisture evaporates and the cells dry up, and they kind of, instead of laying flat and being connected to each other, they're kind of like, like dry leaves, and they're like, okay, imagine your skin or your nail cells as pancakes. When the pancakes are nice and moist, they're going to be laying nice and flat. But when they're dry, they're almost curling up. So let's say you have 10 layers of pancakes, okay? So when the layers are drying up, taking those layers off is going to be like, oh, it fixed the problem. No, it didn't. You just exposed now the lower layers to more dryness. You're doing the opposite. So if you have too many layers of pancakes, you can remove some layers, because sometimes there are skin conditions that create too much skin, but that's not dry skin. These two are often confused. So any type of scrubs, I'm not a fan of any of them, because they remove the layers of the skin, and people think, oh, dead skin cells. No, dead skin cells, we need the dead skin cells. It's called skin barrier. You don't want to have living skin exposed. That would be really bad. So the problem is usually the lack of moisture, but also the lack of that grout between the cells. So the grout is the oils, is the lipids in our skin that keep the moisture in. When the grout is gone, everything evaporates, leaving dried up pieces. Removing those pieces. Okay, another example. When you have a dry soil and it's like cracked in your garden, dumping that soil and exposing like a nice moist soil underneath is not fixing your garden. It's just making it look better, but you haven't fixed anything. So finally, you're going to end up with no garden, because you just damaged everything. If you have to add the moisture and you have to add the mulch for the moisture to be retained in the garden. That's how you fix the garden, not by just dumping things. Yes, if you have, too much soil, then that's another problem. But no, I don't recommend any scrubs. And the scrubs are one of those things that are very popular, and I cringe when I listen to people advertising lip scrubs. Lips the skin is so fine. The last thing you want to do is to be scrubbing it. You have to be protecting it. You have to use, and a lot of, unfortunately, lip glosses or lip products are irritating to the skin. And this is why people think that they are they're getting addicted to the skin, to the lip glosses, is because the lip glosses irritate the skin and they dry it out. And that's why you think you need them more. So, but protecting the skin is the most important thing. Scrubbing it is a bad idea. Scrubbing, okay, if you have, let's say on the bottom of your feet, you have too much of hard skin, because some hard skin is very important, because if you remove that hard skin, you're going to end up with blisters next time you go for a walk. So if you have just too much, you have a buildup, then yes, you can use some scrub on your heels, but not on the dry skin of your hands. So I would understand when someone says, I have thick skin on my hands from just working in the garden a lot and it's just hardened skin. That would be something I would still not recommend scrubs. There would be a better way of using like very gentle chemical exfoliants. But I understand that more, but never dry skin. Okay, guys, I think I spoke. I talked too much about the dry skin, but I'm very passionate about that topic. It's the same thing with the damaged surface and people buffing the nails. Like, no, you have to fix the surface. This is why adding oils, adding things to the nail plate is not fixing it. It's not going to regrow the nail layers, but at least it's keeping the layers that you have a little bit more intact. But buffing is like the last thing you want to do. Okay, so next week, if you can prepare the photos, if you have anything that you would like me to comment on, address, or if you have any frustrating things. Oh, don't go away. I asked the question if you are subscribed to our emails. So the reason why I'm asking, because it's January, it's mid-January. I think at the end of each month, I'm going to be doing a giveaway of my services, so I can give you a personalized advice on how to improve your nails. So I have this service where I do an assessment, like a private assessment. So you send me 4 pictures of your nails and you tell me what you're doing, what your routine is, and then I just guide you and I help you. And it's like usually people receive about 20 to 30-minute video and usually a quick follow-up if they need it. And sometimes what I do is I tell people to shorten their nails, to change the shape and stuff. So then they send me the what they did to their nails, and then I comment on that. So it's really cool. And then so I'm going to be giving that away to our subscribers, to our online store subscribers. One of them, the services once a month. So one for the EU store and one for the international store. So make sure that you are subscribed to the right store. So if you are in the EU, just go to the salonlifeshop.eu and just subscribe to that. If you are if you're international outside of EU, just the salonlifeshop.com, and then make sure you sign up to the email. I don't send spam. I barely send in the emails. So don't worry, you're not going to be receiving like from Paula's Choice. Unfortunately, I love Paula's Choice, but my God, they are relentless with the ads. Oh, this 20% off and la, la, la. It's just terrible. And manicures too, guys. Manicure sends many emails. But anyway, I don't do that. So please sign up to our email. And because I'll be giving away once a month the assessments. Alrighty, guys. So see you next week. Hopefully you have a wonderful week. And that's it. Bye.
Bye.